Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Jaya Radha Kajanji Radha Kajanji Radhe Jaya Radha Govinda Radha Govinda Radhe Jagannatha Jagannatha Baladeva Jaya Subhadra Jaya Jaya Gora Nitai, Gora Nitai, Gora Nitai, Jaya Gora Nitai. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Prabhupada. Koti Vaishnava ki jai, Namacharya Shila Haridas Thakur ki jai. Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda ki jai. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shama Sundar Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan ki jai. Rajabhumi Shri Vrindavan Dham ki jai. Mayapur Navadvip Dham ki jai. Shri Shri Radha Kalachandi Dham ki jai. Gaur Bhaktivinoda ki jai, Gangamai ki jai, Jamunai ki jai, Bhaktidevi Saraswati ki jai, Samaveda Bhaktivinoda ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga.
No, Mata. Thank you. That's a real. माधव कुंज बिहारी माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी माधव कुंज बिहारी जय गोपी जनवल्लभ गिरिवरधारी गिरिवरधारी जय गोपी जनवल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन ब्रज जनरंजना यशोदानंदन ब्रज जनरंजना यमुना तीरावनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी राधा माधव भगवान की सदाकलाचार्य जी भगवान की कृपा. Today we are reading from 8th canto and the last chapter, I believe 24. Thank you, Mother. The text number 39 onwards, all the way to 46. So, let's chant. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So let us begin by reading translations for all the verses, and then we'll focus on the verse number 40. So I would need from reading the translation.
After thus instructing the king, the Supreme Personality of Godhead immediately disappeared. Then King Satyavrata began to wait for the time of which the Lord had instructed.
After spreading Kusha with his tips pointing east, the saintly king, himself facing the northeast, sat down on the grass and began to meditate upon the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vishnu, who had assumed the form of a fish.
Thereafter, gigantic clouds, pouring incessant water, swelled the ocean more and more. Thus the ocean began to overflow onto the land and inundate the entire world.
As Satyavrata remembered the order of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he saw a boat coming near him. Thus he collected herbs and creepers, and accompanied by saintly Brahmanas, he got aboard the boat.
The saintly Brahmana, being pleased with the king, said to him, O king, please meditate upon the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Kesava. He will save us from this impending danger and arrange for our well-being.
Then, while the king constantly meditated upon the Supreme Personality of Godhead, a large golden fish appeared in the ocean inundation. The fish had one horn and was 8 million miles long.
Following the instructions formerly given by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the king anchored the boat to the fish's horn, using the serpent Vasuki as a rope. Thus, being satisfied, he began offering prayers to the Lord.
The king said, By the grace of the Lord, those who have lost their self-knowledge since time immemorial, and who, because of this ignorance, are involved in a material conditional life full of miseries, obtain the chance to meet the Lord's devotee. I accept that Supreme Personality of Godhead as the Supreme Spiritual Master.
We'll chant this. Vidyo Prahatma Samveda Tanmula Samsara Yadityayo Prasatayam Apnuyur Vimuktido Na Paramo Nadya Vidyo Prahatma Samvedas Tanmula Samsara Parishmatura Yadityayo Prasatayam Apnuyur Vimuktido Na Paramo like chant. Vidyo Prahatma Samveda Tanmula Samsara Parishmatura Yadityayo Prasatayam So, meaning, Sri Raj Pravacha, the king offered prayers as follows. Anadi, from time immemorial, avidya, by ignorance, upahata, has been lost. Atma samvida, knowledge of the self. Tat, that is. Thank you. Mula, the root. Samsara, material bondage. Parishrama, full of miserable conditions and hard work. Aturaha, suffering. Yudrichaya, by the supreme will. Upasita, being favored by the Acharya. Yam, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Apniyuhu, can achieve. Vimukti, the process of liberation. Naha, our. Parama, the Supreme. Guru, the Spiritual Master. Bhavan, your Lordship. Translation. The king said, by the grace of the Lord, those who have lost their self-knowledge since time immemorial, and who because of this ignorance are involved in a material conditioned life full of miseries, obtain the chance to meet the Lord's devotee. I accept that Supreme Personality of Godhead as a Supreme Spiritual Master. I'll go ahead and read the purport. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is actually the Supreme Spiritual Master. The Supreme Lord knows everything about the suffering of the conditioned soul, and therefore he appears in this material world, sometimes personally, sometimes by an incarnation, and sometimes by authorizing a living being to act on his behalf. In all cases, however, he is the original spiritual master who enlightens the conditioned soul who are suffering in the material world. The Lord is always busy helping the conditioned souls in many ways. Therefore, he is addressed here as Paramo Guru Bhavan, the representative of the Supreme Personality of Godhead who acts to spread Krishna consciousness, is also guided by the Supreme Lord to act properly in executing the Lord's order. Such a person may appear to be an ordinary human being, but because he acts on behalf of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Supreme Spiritual Master, he is not to be neglected as ordinary. It is therefore said, Acharyam Mam Vijaniyat. An Acharya who acts on behalf of the Supreme Personality of Godhead should be understood to be as good as the Supreme Lord himself. Shakshat Dharituna Samasta Shastri Yuktistatha Bhavita Eva Sadhvi Kintu Prabhurya Priya Eva Tasya Vande Guru Sri Charnar Vindam. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur has advised that the spiritual master acting on the Supreme Lord's behalf must be worshipped as being as good as the Supreme Lord, for he is the Lord's most confidential servant in broadcasting the Lord's message for the benefit of the conditioned soul involved in the material world. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmritam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rut Kadamayyam Dadati Swapadantikam. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Namah Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishthaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gaurvani Pracharini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pascharya Starini. So we are reading from the 8th canto. 8th canto has been all about the Manvantara stories, the stories of different Manus who appear in the day of Brahma. There are 14 Manus. So far, starting from the 3rd canto onward, 4th canto onward, Sukadeva Goswami has described Swayambhuva Manu and his dynasty and the different Manus, but primarily the 8th canto he has covered most of the other 6 Manus, all the way till the current Manu. So who is the current Manu? Vaivasata Manu. Why the name Vaivasata? Because he is son of Vivaswan, who is the sun god. That's why his name, but his actual name is Shraddha Personal name is Shraddha, but because he is son of Vivaswan, he is also called Vaivasata. And the previous Manu was Rakshasa Manu. And the next Manu? Shravani Manu. Very good. And who is the current Indra? Purandara. Indra is a king named Purandara. Indra is a post, and there's a person who is named Purandara. And the next Indra would be, that should be easy, Mahabali, Bali Maharaj. So he is going to be next. So like this, there is always the constant, 14 times the universal administration is changing. So this is the story at one of those changes. So at the end of Takshasha Manu, there was time to transition for the next Manu, and Lord himself wanted to come and reciprocate with his dear devotee, King Satyavrata, who was such a great devotee that Lord himself wanted to come and inform him and give him the experience of devastation, pralaya, and give him the transcendental knowledge and prepare him to be the next Manu in his next life. That's all the background story. So I was thinking about the character of the great devotee Satyavrata, that Lord informed him, did a wonderful leela, appeared as a fish, and tricked him, kept growing, and finally went back and told him that in 7 days this great inundation will happen. So what would one do if you are told that in 7 days now everything will be destroyed, right? In the case of Satyavrata Muni, Satyavrata king, it's a whole universe is going to be destroyed. Actually, the 3 planetary systems, Bhu, Bhuva, Swa, Earth, and Bhuva and the Swar, all the way to Swargaloka. So these 3 are going to be destroyed. In the case of Parishit Maharaj, his life was going to be destroyed in 7 days. So when one is told about this kind of death or destructions coming, what will be the response for a person? So there will be 2 responses typically for a materialistic person. Either one will try to just enjoy unlimitedly, try the max out of the remaining 7 days, just enjoy more sense gratification unlimitedly, because now this is only 7 days, they think this is the only 7 days remaining. Or they will become extremely morose, because you can't enjoy when you know that death is coming, right? So then they will go to the other extreme and be extremely morose. So what is the use of life? What's the use of existence? But here we see that Satyavrata Muni, he's not disturbed. He's having firm faith, he's sitting and he's meditating on the Lord. And he's waiting for the time, and he's ready, he's fully equipped to execute the will of the Lord. And similarly, we see in the example of Parishit Maharaj, he is not devastated. He took that as a great opportunity, great blessing to renounce all this extra duties he had to carry, being a king. So now he can solely and wholly devote himself in dedicating his mind and attention to hearing about Lord. So that is a great blessing for the living entities, for the souls, to be able to do that, to set aside everything and immerse yourself in the descriptions of the Lord, in the service of the Lord. So that is a great. So the king Satyavrata is showing a great faith in the instructions of the Lord, and that's why he is a worthy of receiving Lord's mercy and becoming the next Manu. So Lord told him that I will be by your side when the inundation will happen. A great boat will appear. You embark on that boat with all the living entities and all the herbs and the plants and the 7 rishis, so that the generation can keep going after the devastation is over. So he gave him instruction, and he also told him the warnings that the boat will sway with the water of inundation. The boat will be tossed left and right. When that happens, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid, I will be by your side, and you can anchor the boat to me, to my horn, with the help of Vasuki. The Lord gave him all the instructions. So, in a way, this is literal. These instructions are literal in his case, but also Lord has given instruction to us in the Bhagavad Gita that this world is dukkhalem ashashvatam. This is a world, this is a place of misery. There will be situations in this world which are not very pleasant. There will be happy times, there will be sad times. When all that happens, don't worry. Just always surrender unto me. Lord says that if you engage your mind and intelligence in me, then by mercy, mat prasadat, you will tarishya all the impediments you will be able to overcome. I am by your side. I am in your heart. Right? So Krishna is saying that to us also. Krishna is saying literally to Satyavrata Muni, but he is also telling the same instruction to us. That this material world is full of miseries. Padam padam yad vipadam. That there is full of miseries. There's so many unexpected situations that can arise at any moment. But all that happens, don't be disturbed. Just keep taking my shelter, and I will take you through all these dangers and at the other end. So once I was meeting our Guru Maharaj, His Holiness Radhanath Swami, while traveling with Gaurang Prabhu. So Maharaj asked, okay, so what's your realization? So he was like very kind and sweet and asking, interacting. And then Gaurang Prabhu said that he is going to get married soon. So Maharaj, I don't know how that exactly happened. So Maharaj said that, okay, then we were talking about miseries. So then definitely miseries are going to come in the life. So I got so scared from that statement of Maharaj. And then Maharaj laughed in his usual way and then he said, but don't worry, Krishna will be by your side and he will take you through all those miseries by his hand. So this is the constant theme throughout in the instructions of Acharyas, in the instruction of Krishna to Satyvrata Muni, and in the instruction of Krishna in Bhagavad Gita. So Krishna is telling that, take my shelter, I am by your side. Krishna is so kind that we have left aside Lord in the spiritual world and came to this very low material world full of miseries, sufferings. We have rejected that Lord who is so kind to us, but He has followed us in our heart. He has not rejected us. He is with us, whichever abominable type of body we might be. In a stool worm also, He is in the heart of that living entity who is in the body of the stool. He is always following us. He is always by our side, and He is standing true to His words. There's a beautiful verse in the 11th canto in the context of story of Pingala. The Pingala realizes that when she is frustrated in her attempt to enjoy, then she realizes this, that samtam samipe ramadam rati pratam vit pratam nityam bihaya akamadam dukkha bhayadishokam moha padam tuksham aham bhajek. That our Lord is samtam samipe, is the most near and most dear. Literally, there cannot be anybody more near to us than the Lord who is inside our heart. Swantasthe. He is inside our innermost chamber of the heart, right? So that is the most near one can ever be. And He is the most dear. And He is the one who is providing us all the vitta, all the wealth, vitta padam. And He is providing all the happiness. But what we are doing to such a Lord, we are leaving behind. We are leaving Him aside. And what we are doing, akamadam dukkha bhayadishokam. We are running after those people who are not fulfilling our desire, akama, and they are giving us misery, they are giving us bhaya, adi, mental distress, and miseries, shoka. So we are running after those people of this material world, hoping that they will fulfill our desire, they will give us happiness, they will give us satisfaction, and we are leaving aside a person who is actually doing all this to us. So this is the realization of Pingala, and then she surrenders to Lord that now I will serve that Supreme Lord who is in my heart. So this is a great realization, and but now one may say that, okay, one is fortunate to have understood this realization. What if we don't see the Lord in the heart? What if I am on a very material platform, external, seeing externally? What is the hope for me? And that hope is what King Satyvrata Muni, King Satyvrata is showing in this verse, that in the hopes of becoming happy in the material world, the foolish conditioned soul perform fruitive activities which result only in the suffering. And by rendering service to Supreme Personality of Godhead, one becomes free from... no, this is not the one. This is the one. That those who have lost their self-knowledge since time immemorial, and who because of ignorance are involved in the material conditioned life full of miseries, obtain the chance to meet the Supreme Lord's devotees. So then that's the highest expression of Lord's mercy, that He sends His devotees. Because we are not able to see the Lord in the heart, we are not purified enough to connect with Him in the heart, then He appears externally in front of us in the form of devotees. And how does this work? So let's meditate upon the power of devotees association for a moment. So we are hearing about the story of Pralay, right? This is the Pralay between one Manu to the next Manu, but this is not always there. In between two Manus, there is not always a Pralay, as we have read in the Acharya's commentaries before, earlier verses. So there are four kinds of Pralay explained in the 12th canto. Nitya Pralay, that is that continuous dissolution, continuous destruction always happening. Naimittika Pralaya, that is like occasional dissolution that happens at night of Brahma. So Nitya Pralaya is like living entities are getting born and they are dying. The cells are constantly being shed. The plants are withering, they're dying. Right? So that is a continuous dissolution happening in this material world. This is the place of death. So this continuous death happening is called Nitya Pralaya. Then there's a Naimitika Pralaya that happens at the night of Brahma, when the half of the universe is destroyed. And then there is a Prakritik Pralaya that happens at the end of the life of Brahma, when the whole universe is wound up into the body of Mahavishnu. So that's the whole material existence and the material elements, everything is destroyed and becomes unmanifest. And then there's the Atyantika Pralaya, that is the ultimate liberation of the living entity going back to God, spiritual. So as the other levels of Pralaya is happening, so living entity is going through the cycles of so many levels of Pralayas. Every day, every moment, every day of Brahma, and so many different Brahmas we have living in the material existence for such a long immemorial time. So when this pralaya is happening, everything is destroyed in the process. What to speak of physical object, even the time, everything is destroyed basically. Even memories, subtle objects, everything is destroyed. But one thing is not destroyed. And what is that one thing? The hope of the living entity to enjoy in the material. So that is not destroyed. So when we go back into the body of Mahavishnu and when the universe is wound up, and when the next universe sprouts, again we come back with full enthusiasm and vigor. Let's enjoy. Puna puna charvatam charvananam. Whatever samskaras were there in the previous life, previous existence at which we ended, we continue from the same point. So this hope of trying to enjoy is not destroyed. So many different pralayas are there. Just imagine that. How strong is this hope? I remember in my initial days when we were engaging in preaching activity, there was a poster. The poster was showing a man who was running, being chased by a tiger, falls into a well, and then he hangs onto a branch, and that shakes the branch, and branch has honey beehives, and then bee got disturbed and they are biting him, and he is holding onto branch because there's a cobra in the well below, so he can't go down, he can't go up tree, and then he can't be staying there hanging because bees are biting him constantly, and then there are black and white mouse cutting the branch. The branch is becoming thin, and eventually he's going to die. But few drops of honey falls on his tongue, and he says, "Wow, this is worth living." So that is the situation in which, that's the kind of hope with which we are living in this material world, trying to enjoy. There's so much suffering around, but little happiness we get, we just become so happy. Okay, this is great. This is great. We try to forget everything else. This is because of lack of higher knowledge, because of ignorance. We have no better idea of superior happiness that is possible, what is possible for us. So that revelation of what is truly possible, what we are truly made for, is revealed to us in the association of devotees. When we associate with the pure devotees, then we are able to realize our true potential. So you can imagine how powerful the devotee association is. That which is not destroyed by all the pralayas, the power of all the dissolutions, is destroyed by a devotee's will, by devotee's mercy. So when devotees intervene in our life, they shake us, they shake our mati to enjoy in the material world, and they give us Krishna mati, they give us the devotion, and then we can come out. So how does that mechanism work? So actually, scriptures explain that the primary devotee association is the association of Guru. Guru is the primary devotee in our life, and then all other devotees are there who are helping us. So how Guru's association helps is given throughout the scriptures. Particularly, I like what is given in the 7th canto, the last chapter of that, when Narada Muni is instructing Yudhishthira Maharaj. He is saying that by serving the feet of the spiritual master, one is enabled to develop transcendental ecstasy in the service of the personality of Godhead, who is the unchangeable enemy of the Madhu demon and whose service vanquishes one's material distress. So there is a great description of Narada Muni telling that how a soul can get rid of all the anarthas, and eventually how by serving Guru all the anarthas are destroyed. So how this purification works is also given in the Bhagavatam 1st canto, 2nd chapter. There are a series of celebrated verses that the Srila Prabhupada also quoted them in his prayer. Markine, what is that? Bhagavad Dharma? Yes. in that he quotes the series of verses that how the purification of a soul happens. It all begins with soul serving a pure devotee. Syan mahat sevaya vipra. So when we serve a pure devotee, then something happens. A great service is rendered, and our attraction towards listening to the Krishna's pastimes, Krishna's katha, and rendering service to Krishna grows from that service. Now, how does that happen? Krishna explains in the verses systematically that how he is in the heart and he destroys everything abhadra in the heart of devotee. Nashtaprayusha Bhadeshu Nityam Bhagavat Sevaya. So, how he slowly cleans the heart of a person who, it all begins with serving a devotee. So, this is the transcendental plot of a Lord, that we have left that Supreme Lord, our eternal well-wisher, and we become envious of him, came to the material world. So, Lord is saying, okay, I will follow him, I will not leave you. You have left me, I will not leave you, I will be in your heart. And also, I will be appearing to you through my devotee. So, not directly, but through indirectly. So, Krishna is giving us a chance. If you're not going to engage, not going to surrender to me directly, then even if you surrender indirectly through my devotees, I will accept that as if you surrender to me. You know? So Krishna has taken this position of being neutral as Paramatma, that I will not intervene in the free will of other living entities. So as they reciprocate with me, yethamam prapadante tam sate bhajamyaham, I'll reciprocate with them accordingly. So in that position, he is neutral. Now he is not able to help because he has taken the position of neutrality. But as devotee, he is saying that you go ahead and you intervene in the free will of the living entities. Go and knock on the door, tell them, come out of the sinful life, chant Krishna's name. And so when devotees reach out, then when the conditioned souls, when they appreciate devotees, when they say, oh, this is a nice person, he is a selfless person, he is giving us prasad, such a nice prasad, such a nice singing, nice kirtan. When we appreciate any aspect of devotee or devotional process, then Krishna takes that as an excuse to intervene and then start changing the free will of the soul, start giving them taste and releasing this nectar of taste, and then the soul start coming more. So the free will of the soul always has to act, but Krishna is creating all these mechanisms by which we can connect back to him, and the devotees play the greatest role in that. It's the mercy of devotees. It says that bhakti cannot arise without a bhakta intervening and giving the bhakti, because bhakti can be given only by those who have bhakti in them. So it cannot come from anywhere other source. So only devotees are the source, constant source of devotion. So we may see there may be so many other reasons, but actually it's a mercy of devotee. That is the root cause of our turning to the spiritual. All of us can inspect, analyze this in our life. It is the intervention of devotees in our life that has made us devotees. And this is a perpetual process. And we are supposed to do the same, become the instrument of Krishna, and do that same to others. So there are 64 limbs of devotional service, and 5 of them are the most important. And this was the theme of Amarendra Prabhu's visit last time, and he very nicely described them. Anybody remembers what are the 5 limbs? So yes, Mataji. Yes, that's one. And staying in a holy place, reading scriptures, chanting holy names, and doing deity worship. These are the 5 limbs. Now, out of these 5 limbs, the most powerful limb is the association of devotees, because it contains all other 4 limbs in it. So, because what do you do in the association of devotees? Yudhishthira Maharaj is praising Vidur when he comes back to meet Dhritarashtra. He is saying that Bhavat Vida Bhagavata Tirthi Bhuta Swayam Bhavu Tirthi Kirvanti Tirthani Swam Stein Stha Gadabhrita. That, oh dear Vidur Maharaj, that devotees like yourself are the very personification of the holy place. Because you are carrying the Lord in your heart, and when you carry the Lord in your heart, wherever you go, that place becomes a holy place. So Lord is not as much present in the temple as he is present in the heart of the devotee. You know, Lord says, what is that? Gayanti bhakti bhavina hare nami kevalam hare sada vaset tatra yatra bhagavata jana. That Lord is always residing in a place where the pure devotees of Lord are singing about Lord. Lord's glories, Lord's name, and he's always present there. Not he's present in temple also, but to draw the contrast, he says sometime like this: he's always present in temple, deities, but he can be more felt, more strongly felt from the heart of a devotee when we associate with the pure devotee. we can immediately experience the purification when a pure devotee glances upon us. We all must have experienced this. When they look at us, we see that we are getting scanned of all anarthas and getting freed. so, this theme of devotees association is a constant theme throughout the scriptures. You can see in the prayers of so many devotees, like this verse itself is glorifying that for the people who are since time immemorial in the material world, this is a great benediction to meet a devotee of the Lord, and the Lord is being called as the Guru of Gurus, Supreme Spiritual Master, Param Guru, Param Guru Bhavan. So Lord is guiding his devotees, and devotees are guiding the living entities. So the Lord is a Param Guru. We can also see in the prayer of Dhruv Maharaj. What does Dhruv Maharaj pray? So Dhruv Maharaj was looking for a great kingdom, even greater than that of his great grandfather, which is this universe. This universe is the kingdom of the Brahma, we can say that way. So he wanted a kingdom more superior to this universe. So he has such a high ambition. We can't even match. We have little ambition, little job, little money. So after he saw Lord Vishnu, what was his realization? What is that he's seeking? He forgot everything. He said everything else is just a broken piece of glasses. I got the real jewel. But he is asking something beyond that. And what is that? He is saying, Bhakti Muhu Pravatam Tvai Me Prasango. That I want that association, my dear Lord, in the association where Bhakti, devotional service, the Katha of the Lord, Bhagavad Guna Kathamrita Panamata, that in that where the narrations of the Lord, glories of the Lord is flowing like river. The devotional service is flowing like river, the association devotees. So I want that association, because this is the constant desire of all the great souls to seek the association of devotees, because they are able to experience Lord more in the presence of devotees. So it is not so glorious to have that one-to-one relation with the Lord than to have the Vaikuntha-like atmosphere where we are all serving Krishna together. When we collectively serve Krishna, that is much more pleasing to Krishna than we trying to serve individually. And we can also see the similar mood in the prayers of Vritasur. Anybody remembers the prayer of Vritasur where he is glorifying, he wants to be a servant of devotees? I'm looking forward to you too. Aham Harer. Yes. Aham Harer Tapadaika Moolam. So Vritasur, when he is getting killed by Indra, his neck is getting cut. At that moment he is praying that, Lord, now I'm dying, but my only wish is that I want to be servant of your devotees. Which kind of devotees? For whom your lotus feet are the only shelter. I want to be the servant of those kind of devotees. And what will happen by that? Then Manas Smaret Asu Asupate Gunamste, that my mind will be constantly engaged in glories, in your qualities, in your glories. And Granit Vak, my tongue will be always engaged in chanting those glories, and Karma Karotu Kaya, and my body will be always engaged in serving as per those instructions of the devotee. So Man Vachan Karma. So full existence, full engagement. So that's what will happen if we seek the shelter of association of devotee. So he is also saying the next verse that I don't want Nanaka Prishtam Naparamishtam. I don't want the great the heavenly kingdom, or even the kingdom of Lord Brahma, even the Patalo kingdom, or this earthly kingdom, or even the yoga siddhis, or even the liberation. So devotees, they think even liberation is not as glorious as the association of devotees. So that's what they want to reject and seek the association of devotees. That's the glory of association of devotees. And when I see Bhagavatam, I cannot but remember Parishit Maharaj. So whenever I think of Bhagavatam, Parishit Maharaj comes to my mind. That he is an example of with how much eagerness you should hear Bhagavatam. And what is his prayer? He is on the deathbed. Couple of days are remaining now. And what he is praying? He is praying that Naswargam na punar bhavam bhagavat sangi sangasya martya nam kim utashisha. That the value of moments of association of a devotee of the Lord cannot even be compared to the attainment of heavenly planets or the liberation. What to speak of worldly benediction in the form of material prosperity, and which is for those who are meant for death. So he is on the deathbed, he is going to die, and his realization is that devotees association is everything. That is beyond liberation. So we see the constant theme throughout. So what happens in the association of devotees is also given in the 4th canto. This is the verse Amarendra Prabhu explained. My dear king, in the place where pure devotees live, following the rules and regulations, and thus purely conscious, and engaged with a great eagerness in hearing and chanting the glories of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, in that place, if one gets a chance to hear their constant flow of nectar, which is exactly like the waves of river, one will forget the necessities of life, namely hunger and thirst, and become immune to all the kinds of fear, lamentation. This is the power of devotees association. So when we are with them, when we are immersing ourselves in nectarian flow of katha, nectarian engagement of services, and mercy and prasad. So in that association, we forget the anxieties, the misery, suffering of the material existence. We are constantly tormented by the past, present, and future. By the past, we are tormented in the form of lamentation. Oh, whatever happened was not good. We are always lamenting, this was not good, that is not good, it should have been this way, that way. And we are constantly worried about future, fear, bhai. We are fearful about future. Oh, what if this doesn't go good? What if that doesn't go good? This will happen or not? Why have this? Will this be stolen? Will I be able to achieve that? And then we are constantly misguided in the present. Moha, illusioned. We are always not having a proper sense of what is right thing to do, what is not right thing to do. So we are troubled by the past, present, and future in the form of shoka, bhaya, and moha. So these 3 words you will see in so many verses in the Bhagavatam, always appearing, because this summarizes our suffering in the material world in the time. so here this Bhagavatam verse is explaining that when you are in the association of devotees, you totally forget to transcend time. You are living in a space where you are not tormented by shoka, moha, and bhaya. That's one effect of association of devotees, that our material sufferings diminish, go away. And second effect is that our devotion to the Lord rises, that our devotion to Lord grows, and the eventual result, what happens, we can see from the story of brother of King Amrish Maharaj. Like he was totally opposite of Amrish Maharaj, such a great devotee, Savai Mana Krishna Padar Vindayor. He was always a great devotee, and Amrish Maharaj engaged fully in the service of Lord. And his brother was envious of devotees, always tormenting them, troubling them. So Amrish Maharaj was always kind to him and was wondering how to help him out. So, so then, I don't know exact details of this pastime, but somebody tricked him. Amrish Maharaj sent devotees to meet him, but he chased them away. So devotees told him that, okay, you don't want our association, then just when you die, ask Yamaraj, what's the glory of a moment's association of devotees? He said, okay, I said, I'll do that. Okay. So when he dies, he goes to Yamaraj. He said, you have been very sinful and you are going to go to hell. But he said, okay, can you please answer this one question? I have this only one wish. Yamaraj said, okay. But Yamaraj said, maybe I don't know the full answer to this. Let's go to Brahmadev. So they go to Lord Brahma. Brahmadev also says, oh, this is a very hard question. I cannot fully analyze that glory. Let's go to Lord Shiva. He's a great Bhagavat. They go to Lord Shiva together. And then Lord Shiva says, actually, this should be properly answered by Lord Vishnu himself. Let's go to him. So they go to Vaikuntha planet. And then Lord Vishnu says, can't you realize that you are present in front of me? With that, because of that one moment association, now you are here in front of me. This is the effect of a moment association, that you will get to see Lord face to face. So that's a power. So this is a very nice story. So what is the association of devotee? How do we know that we are having a proper association of devotee? So Amarendra Prabhu also explained this. There are 4 elements of that the devotee should be a senior devotee to us, with whom we are associating, so that we can benefit from that devotee by serving that devotee, so we can learn from the devotee. Second, the devotee should be affectionate to us. So there may be many seniors, but then sometime, they may not behave well with us, or sometime at the moment they may not be in the right moment to associate. So one should be affectionate also, loving towards. And the third, sajatiya, that the mood of devotion of that devotee should be compatible with the mood that we are aspiring for. Like somebody is a devotee of Lord Ram, somebody is a devotee of Lord Krishna, somebody is trying to pursue Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mood. Vrindavan, somebody is pursuing Vaikuntha mood, like Sri Sampradaya. Like that, we should seek association which is sajatiya, similar devotional. And then in that mood, we should engage in the devotional service. That's the fourth element. In the hearing katha, doing services. These are the four limbs that should be there. That is the proper devotee association that will benefit. So that was the theme, major theme of today's discussion. That is the first prayer of Satyavrata Muni, Satyavrata King to Lord when he appeared. That this is the great benediction for the living entities. It's a great mercy of the Lord that they get to meet the devotees when they are living in this world from time immemorial, having forgotten their real self-knowledge. So this is the great benediction. So that's all our few thoughts I had to share. Please correct me or share some comments.
In the purport, or actually in the verse, it said that Shri Krishna acts as both the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but also as the preacher, as the teacher, as the ideal guru. And I was just thinking about Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, how when he appeared, he had that role of both Supreme Spiritual Master and Bodhi.
Yes. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu personally came to teach us the pure devotional service and the holy names. Thank you, Mataji, for sharing that.
Thank you for the nice class, Prabhuji. I'm just very amazed, like even you mentioned that when annihilation happens, everything is destroyed except the propensity to enjoy. So I'm just very curious why only that Lord allows to remain and everything else is destroyed. And it's also like very scary, like it's a very strong weapon we are trying to defeat, and I don't know if I can ever, if it cannot be destroyed even during annihilation, how can I even overcome?
But devotees can destroy. Devotees can destroy. I remember this analogy of potatoes Gaurang Prabhu gave, that how we get purified in the association of devotees. We rub each other's, sometimes wrong way, sometimes good way. So when you throw out the potatoes get peeled in a bulk quantity, they put that in a machine and they rotate it and they get peeled by so that we get purified through associating with the devotees. Sometimes they are not always doing the thing which is, pleasurable to us as per our liking. But if just we remain, favorable, faithful, and tolerant, and then have faith in devotees, then we get purified in that process. We just have to show that faith in devotees also. So it will be taken care of.
Part of the question was like, because it's such a dangerous weapon and Krishna knows it's not good for us, so why he's not destroying that during annihilation? Everything else gets destroyed. He's our well-wisher, right?
Actually, Krishna is doing so many things. But he has given us this free will. He doesn't want to take away the free will. Because if he takes away that also, then what happiness he will get when a robot says, I love you, right? So he wants us to say, I love you out of our own free will. And he's providing all the assistance, all the reminders, all the support. And he is looking for all the excuses that if you surrender to him directly or indirectly, if you appreciate devotee, he is willing to give us the credit for that. So he's doing all those things possible. So let us just focus on how much he's doing, and then take advantage of that.
Thank you very much for the very nice class. I think you touched on this point during the class at some point, but there was one Mataji and her son went off to school, and he's the youngest son in the house. And so, she's feeling it's hard for the mother, your last child leaving the house, going to school in another state very far away. And he sent her a message recently saying that actually he was going to come in October, but actually I have too much to do, so I won't come back in October. So she's just feeling so like, it's hard, right? You love your son so much. And we were talking about it a little bit, and it's actually so unfathomable the way Krishna, we have this desire to enjoy separately from him. And I feel like, for us, what we could maybe relate it to in the material world would be like if our child said, okay, I want to go somewhere else and be without you, that we would somehow set up our child in another state, far away from us, give them all of the, ability to live and do what they need to do, and then somehow we would erase their memory of us, and we would leave them there, but we would still be waiting the whole time for them to come back.
Right.
And we can't even fathom how Krishna makes this arrangement for us, because we have this desire to do something. So he really actually creates it for us.
Yes.
And allows us to forget him. Otherwise, if we didn't forget Krishna, then it wouldn't really be
true. Yeah.
We wouldn't really have the chance to try to enjoy without him, because we would
Correct.
still remember him.
Correct.
And he would still be in our mind. But we've asked to do this. So he's created everything. But for me, the thing that's astonishing is at the other end, he's still there with us the whole time. So how painful that must be for Krishna.
Yeah.
On the other side, the person you love the most in the world has turned their back on you. You created all this arrangements, and Krishna's waiting there on the other side for us to come back.
Thank you, Prabhuji, for sharing that nice example. I don't remember, long ago, I heard it from a devotee that Krishna's heart is so tender that that's why all this material energy of Krishna is protecting Krishna's heart actually. That we are not sincere. We just go, Krishna, in the moment, oh, Krishna, I love you, I'm surrendering, I want to surrender to you. And actually, if Krishna will hear that, he will say, oh yeah, great. I mean, he will embrace us. But then next moment we are having food and going away, watching movies and nothing. So then Krishna heart will be broken. That's why this energies of Krishna protect Krishna's heart. And they want to test us. Are you really serious? Then we'll present you to Krishna. Otherwise he will just believe you, and then he will be heartbroken again. So they are protecting Krishna's tender heart by not exposing him to your false promises. So they want to thoroughly purify us. We really make sure we are really meaning it, and then we connect. Yeah.
Mother Manjwali shared something around Radhastami time. She read a pastime, and that Srimati Radharani's feet are so soft that when she walks in Vrindavan, that in the material world the ants and things run away, but in Vrindavan the insects, they gather where she's going to step, because her feet are so soft that they don't squish the insect when she steps on them. So they want to go under her feet. And so I was thinking, how soft must Krishna's heart be if Radharani's feet are that soft?
Yes.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, thank you for a very nice class. And as usual, packs so much in. It's a mental exercise to try and retain everything, even if we write it down. We have to go over it. There's so much content. And you've answered this question, but I just want to bring it up again. You're saying, devotee association is the ultimate. And you've also explained how to associate, which kind of devotee to associate, all of those details. In these verses, and even yesterday's verses, we're seeing how as we surrender, then Krishna reveals himself to us. I was struggling with the concept of surrender. If someone tells me fight, instinctively I know what to do. I just know. You don't have to train me. But if you tell me surrender, I'm like, what does that mean? What does that mean exactly when you say surrender? No, I'm going to do anything else but surrender, because I'm not so sure of who I'm surrendering to. But Krishna is saying, no, first you surrender, then I'll tell you who I am. But I'm like, no, Krishna, I want to know more, so I'm sure that I want to surrender to you. So it feels like Krishna is asking us what we're not capable of doing, because we haven't built that faith in him as yet. We don't have that trust in him as yet, because we don't know him.
Okay, you can think of that, okay, you want to go to that height, the big one block that you have to climb, but Krishna has broken that down into small steps. This whole process of surrender is broken down into steps, beginning with Adho Shraddha. So it's not that you have to surrender fully and then only he will give you even slightest of himself to you. You just give little bit of yourself to him, he will give proportionally that. Then based on that, experience, you give a little bit more, then he will give you also a little more. It's a very dynamic, live process of bhakti. It's not a mechanical process. So you are engaging continuously with the Lord and surrendering more and more. So it's not a one big block of surrender, you know. So that's one. And also we can hear from Rupa Goswami's explaining what is a surrender, Sharanagati. That you do things which are favorable to Krishna, you avoid things which are unfavorable from Krishna, and you have always faith that Krishna will protect, you feel meek and humble, like that. So there are 6 limbs of surrender. So each of those things we start practicing little by little, and then we keep making progress because there's a feedback loop that opens up it more. That's how it is.
Again, Prabhu, thank you so much. I agree with everybody. Wonderful class with a lot of details. One thing which amazed me the most, and I think the mystery of 7 which you touch. I think you pulled out 2 incidents. Chit Maharaj, 7 days. Is cataclysm, 7 days.
Yes.
There are many mystery of 7, and I think if you see all the cross-cultural across any culture, everybody has an exact 7 days. And despite of this one thread, which Lord tells in the Bhagavad Gita, that I am that hidden thread in the Sutre Manigana. So, despite of that, I don't know, it's very, very hard that how come we, and then again the great devotee like Mata Pingla, whose profession is very different kind, but she came as a guru because we are actually worse than Pingla.
Yeah.
I mean, we have a lordship himself, and we just, I mean, we are worse than a Pingla. I mean, the attitude of Pingla. So, I don't know what to tell, but there are so many discrete evidences he has, arranged all around. But selectively, we want to remain blind so that we want to enjoy. This tendency is very dangerous, and I don't know how to control it. And yes, you also address all that Devotion Service Association are the beginning. And yes, I agree that life is not digital, life is analog, which you mentioned. So every little step is towards the final goal, whether you finish in millions of lives or maybe what you call honorary doctorate, which is the mercy of a devotee, pure devotee. So I think you raised a lot of questions versus solution, I would say, and it is very nice that it's a never-ending quest, because love is also unlimited. Raga Dvesh Rahit. If Vasudeva Kutumbakam is the real purpose of life, then whether we are here or somewhere else. So I think your dots were very, very nice and I would say pinching. So somehow we have become kind of what you call pralaya proof or misery proof. This stupidity should end soon. With that I end. Thank you.
Thank you. I just want to share one thing, that what is the effect of devotees association. If you want to go somewhere in Mumbai, in local trains, have you traveled in local trains in Mumbai? If you want to get out at a station, what you have to do? There's so much crowd, it's so packed, and there's the people waiting outside, you can't cross them and go out. So all you have to do is position yourself in the flow, then with the people you will be getting out. Even if you didn't want to get out, you will be forced to get out. And if you want to get into the train, just position yourself in the right place. So with the crowd's force, you will go into that. So this is what is devotee association, that we are not powerful. I realized this when I came to USA, when I was a student, IIT Mumbai, in with the devotees, with Gauranga Prabhu Association, we felt like we are pure devotees. A pure devotee syndrome arose in the heart. But when I came here, then chanting became so difficult. Every day was a struggle with the materialistic roommates and all that drinking. It became so hard. Then I realized that it was the devotee association that made me do everything so effortlessly, so enjoyably. So, so just position yourself in the devotee association, and that force will make you do. Hare Krishna.